Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to our GeoJuice webinar for home improvement contractors, which is hosted today by our GeoJuice expert, Jeff White. This is Jennifer Clark. I'm a marketing manager at Surefire Social, and I'm joined by our CMO, Sashi Belamkanda, and running the webinar from his computer is Stephen Eastlack. For those of you who are on your first Surefire Social webinar, here's a brief backstory for Surefire. Our founder and CEO, Chris Morentes, started Surefire Social with a goal of helping local businesses to navigate the digital marketing world. And our mantra is, thus, your web presence is more than just a website, and you should therefore engage with customers across the web, and in other words, be social with them. Okay, so this is a little cheesy, but I have to say it. Please give yourself a pat on the back today for taking time to learn new strategies to grow your business. It counts. Keep doing it. We'll share some links in the chat with you today, including access to our home improvement exclusive podcast, which is called Remodeling Mastery. So you'll leave today with some cool content you can take advantage of after the webinar. From my experience using GeoJuice, I can vouch that it's a powerful tool for businesses with local customers, and it's great for getting new reviews and sending local signals to tell search engines the areas that you're working in. And I can see by the turnout today that there's a lot of excitement about GeoJuice in this group. Go everybody. If you've got any questions during the webinar, which I hope you do, type them into the chat box. It's in your control panel on the right of your screen. The team and I are going to be behind the scenes. We'll be answering any questions that you have, and we'll be providing those questions to Jeff during Q&A. So if you want to test that out, please tell us where you're joining us from today in the chat box. And last but not least, we're giving away a Chromecast audio, which is a tool that allows you to listen to music wirelessly from any speakers. It's a thank you for joining us, and one of you is going to take one home today. I see that it says on the slide you can type yes. You could also type Jen if you're listening. Just a joke. All right. Jeff, the floor is yours.
Thanks, Jen. Good afternoon, everyone. We're going to talk about GeoJuice, but first I want to make sure that you all are sure you're in the right place, because GeoJuice is a very, very powerful yet simple tool, simple to use. So if you're able to send a text, you're in the right place. If you're able to take a picture with your phone, you're in the right place. And if you can't, well, I'm sure there's somebody in your company who can, or ask the kids, but that's really what we're talking about when you've got GeoJuice in the palm of your hand and what you need to do to make a GeoJuice check-in occur. So in addition to that, GeoJuice, you're in the right place if you want to use GeoJuice to promote the good work that you do, and to use GeoJuice to create links from Google to your website. And with this powerful tool that's in the palm of your hand, you can also post automatically to Facebook and Twitter. So you can do a lot with a very simple tool with a real simple set of skills. And I'm going to walk you through that. And the other important thing that GeoJuice can help you with is if you've ever faced the question, what can I do now to help improve lead flow? So as I walk through these slides and GeoJuice, the functionality, the cause and effect of doing a GeoJuice check-in, you're going to understand how GeoJuice can lead to the answer to this question. But in a nutshell, what GeoJuice can do for you, it's a differentiator. So it's a differentiator not only for Surefire Social, because it's a tool that we make available to our clients, but once it's in your hand, it's a differentiator for you in terms of your competition. They don't have it, you do, and you'll see shortly how powerful of a tool it is. And then in terms of how we work with our customers, it's a fantastic collaboration tool, because it is, when you work with Surefire, you're not simply abdicating all my online to Surefire. They're going to do it for me. It is a partnership, it is a collaboration between Surefire and our customers. And we really enjoy it when we take time, like on this webinar, to share not just a tool of GeoJuice and how it can help you, but why. The whys. What's it doing? Why does Google care? we're going to get into that, and it's fantastic when my customers understand the power of GeoJuice, and then we use it when we meet regularly and look at the GeoJuice activity that they've been doing, the results, because at the end of the day, when I've got a motivated client that's using GeoJuice, they in effect get Google. And Google is, you'll see I've got a slide that'll talk about how we live in a Google-centric world, but understanding what Google is looking for, why it is indexing your site, why your visibility may not be as strong as it could be, but when you're working with Surefire and with a tool like GeoJuice, seeing the results and understanding what you're doing for your visibility with Google, when you get that, that's a powerful combination. So before I get into the overview of GeoJuice, let's step back and let's look at a macro level where we are today in terms of the internet, the World Wide Web, and this Google-centric world that I mentioned. And when I say Google-centric, I'm essentially talking about something that most people know, that most of the searches done on the internet are through Google. 65% market share is what Google has in terms of the overall search engines out there and search volume. And basically, Google-centric today means mobile-centric, because Google knows that the majority of searches are done through mobile devices. So when we take that all-in count of volume of Google searches, they just announced that they're doing 2 trillion searches a year. 50% of those searches are on a mobile device. And then out of mobile searches, 33% are location-based queries. And then out of those location-based queries or local searches that people are doing on their mobile devices, they're growing at 50% more than other types of searches on mobile devices. So the idea that a local business and people searching for a local business or a local service, is that important to Google? These are just some numbers at a high level that shows that Google is very interested in making sure that a local business is represented as best as possible in its search engine, and that's how we approach it for our clients. It's Google-centric, it's mobile-centric, and in order to have your visibility at the best possible level possible, we implement a holistic program, and you'll see how GeoJuice fits into that program. And this last point about mobile is that if you're not sure if your website is mobile friendly, or if you've just been putting off making your website mobile friendly, Google no longer will ignore you. Google will penalize you. Google will penalize websites that are not mobile friendly. That's how important a good search experience is for Google to provide to its customers. So with that backdrop, plus this point as well, it's important to understand that it's not just about a website anymore, but it's about a digital footprint for a business. So if you don't know you have a digital footprint, trust me, you do. And your digital footprint is comprised of not only your website, but also your social sites, how your business is listed on the internet, and that's across the entire internet. So we're talking about Google My Business listing. We're talking about other directories such as Yelp, Yellow Pages, hundreds of directories. Is your business listed? Is it listed accurately? Is it listed consistently across multiple online directories? And then tying all that together, what is the activity associated between those elements of your digital footprint? Is your website updated regularly? Is your website mobile friendly, as I mentioned? Is there activity on your social sites? Do they link together? All of this makes up your digital footprint. And it's important to approach your, not just your website, but that entire digital footprint from that standpoint, from that previous slide of understanding, okay, I got a better understanding of how Google is looking at, why does it care about me in my little business? It cares a lot because there's a lot of activity, there are a lot of searches, and there's a lot of money being spent on the Google PPC side in terms of local activity. So let's get into it, right? All right, so GeoJuice. What exactly is it? So it's simply a mobile app that's on your phone. You can also use it through the desktop, and it's going to create hyper-local content that Google absolutely loves. And we call it a check-in. So with GeoJuice, you're doing a check-in. And when you do a check-in, you're creating content for your website. And when you create content for your website, that results in Google coming and indexing that new content. When Google indexes new content on your website, you're improving your rankings on Google as well as other search engines, which leads to increased web visibility, which leads to more leads. And the simple formula of what GeoJuice is doing is these three words, this last point: recency, frequency, and proximity. So Google is looking for content that is recently updated or added to your website or to your digital footprint. And then it's looking for frequency. How often are you doing it? So is that content new? And then how often are you adding new content to your website? And then proximity. How close is that content to where, you know, a person searching on Google, how close is it to them? So that's the whole local element, creating content that is recent, frequent, and pertinent to somebody that's searching for a service near me. All right, so we're going to step through an example of what that looks like. So I have up on screen right now what it looks like once you tap on that app on your phone. It opens up, and this is an iPhone version of GeoJuice. Also works on Android devices, and you're simply going to use the GeoJuice app. I'll come back to this slide, but you're simply going to use the GeoJuice app from your phone and take a picture of a project. And GeoJuice is fantastic for showing off the work that you're doing. So as you or your team is out in the field, it's an opportunity to simply demonstrate what's going on, where you're doing it. You know, when a project is finished, you're able to show off that project. And it also allows you to tell people what neighborhood you're in, where you're working, your entire service area. You can do check-ins to help paint that. And then again, you're creating that hyper-local, tasty content that Google loves to crawl. So going back to that screenshot of what it looks like on your phone, this is, you've got GeoJuice opened up on your phone, and here's the three simple things you're going to do. I've got the camera icon highlighted here. You're going to select that and either take a picture or select a picture from your phone. And then you're going to describe that project. And then that pin on the right is what you're going to hit next to then do a check-in. So there it is. Just like sending a text, just like taking a picture, that's all it takes to create a GeoJuice check-in. And so this is what it looks like on a website. I've got one of my more active GeoJuice users, Nuss Construction out of New Jersey. And so I've got a screenshot of the page on their website of where GeoJuice, their feed is. And GeoJuice consists of this heat map that's at the top of the slide. And the heat map is going to indicate the check-ins that are occurring across somebody's service area. The map is updated dynamically in real time, and people can move the map around, and you'll see the map change as you move the map towards areas that they're also working in and creating GeoJuice check-ins. And so I have highlighted the check-in itself. And so it's John at Nuss Construction. A few days ago, did a check-in, and he typed into the GeoJuice app on his phone, new certainty GAF roof. And he did it in Haddonfield today. Looks great. And then right underneath that is the automated, this is what the GeoJuice app is creating, but the automated geotagging information that the app passes along with the description, post to the website. And then this check-in is the equivalent of creating a brand new web page. So going back to that idea of it's simple to use, well, it's simple to create a brand new page on your website. It'll look like a feed on the page itself because they stack up. So if you're doing 1 or 10, they're all going to show up on the one page, but it's the equivalent of creating a brand new page of content in Google's eyes. And when you do that repeatedly, and I've got runs the gamut with my clients, 1 a day, 5 a day, 10 a day, but your recency, frequency, and proximity, again, all gets fed to Google. Google takes notice of that and gobbles up this great content. So that's what it looks like on the website side. This is what it looks like on the Google search results page side. So if we take a look at that check-in, New Certainty GAF roof, and let's put that into Google, New Certainty GAF roof, and we're going to help it along and say Haddonfield, New Jersey, based on where the GeoJuice check-in was done. What will be returned is a link to the Nuss Construction website. And in this example, it's a great example from the standpoint that 2 links are returned. It's not just a link to the Nuss Construction website thanks to that GeoJuice check-in that got indexed by Google. And this is a Google page 1, position 1 link, by the way. And then it's followed in position 2 with a link to the Nuss Construction Facebook site. So with the power of a single GeoJuice check-in, 2 Google links have been created, 1 to the website, 1 to the Facebook page. And they're also above the GAF manufacturer website. And this is an example of where Google is going to return results based on what's appropriate for search term that has been put into the search field. So it knows that it's a locally interested type of search phrase. So it's going to position that local website above the national brand. And this is exactly what we're trying to accomplish with GeoJuice in terms of creating rich content that's indexed by Google and returns links back to your website, to your Facebook page. And again, this is a little more information about how you've got that additional power of not just publishing to your website, but automatically posting to Facebook, automatically posting to Twitter. So this is a screenshot of the Nuss Construction Facebook feed. That check-in that John created is automatically pushed into the Facebook feed. And remember, we're not just Google-centric, but mobile-centric. So this is a great way to show off your work. Yes, people can see it on your website, but it's also an easy way for people that are following you on a mobile device and just to see your work through your Facebook feed. And again, it's easy way to show off the work, the neighborhoods you're working in, and this is an example of how through GeoJuice you're putting in the effort of creating a text and sending a photo. You're cultivating your digital footprint. So I want to pause here again and kind of go back to this question of Google. Why does Google care about my local business? And pose the question, what does Google want? What is Google trying to accomplish? We know it's a search engine. We know people do a lot of searches. But at the end of the day, simple question, what does Google want? And the simple answer is Google is looking to provide quality search results for its customers. And Google's customers are any of us who are inputting search terms when we're searching for something. And so what Google wants to provide to that searcher is quality links to what they're looking for. And so you are helping Google do that when you use GeoJuice, because you are creating that geotagged content that is mobile friendly. And we're about to get into this aspect of GeoJuice that not only are you going to use it to create content quickly and easily, but you can also use GeoJuice to quickly and easily ask for people to review you. So all these elements, when you put together, again, you are cultivating your digital footprint and doing what you need to do and what we help our customers do in terms of managing that overall digital footprint to improve your visibility, improve quality traffic to your website, and improve the quality and quantity of leads. And again, from that standpoint of what does Google want, I'm going to get a little technical on you, but this is an example of what Google sees in terms of that GeoJuice check-in and what it's doing with it. So if you have a website, you've got the ability to use Google Webmaster Tools, or Google Search Console as it's called today. And it's basically a diagnostic tool. It's a way for Google to communicate with the owners of websites. And so we've got this visibility into all of our client sites. And there is, you can see on this slide, it demonstrates a certain type of content called schema. And schema is very important to Google. And it's essentially just helping Google understand different types of information on your website. So whether or not that information is related to your business name or your business address or your business phone number. Structured data is also wrapped around reviews and check-ins. And so this is just, again, that technical look at it. And I have highlighted the geographic elements of a GeoJuice check-in. That's what Google is picking up and indexing. So as we turn our attention to the review side of GeoJuice functionality, this is the other powerful feature of GeoJuice, and again, an easy way for you to request and get reviews onto your website and social sites. I'm going to use another GeoJuice power user that's a client of mine, Hinkle Roofing, out of Birmingham, Alabama, and one of Bob Baker's crew, Jim, did a check-in. And I have highlighted on the left side of the screen his description of the picture below. And so Jim typed in, storm damaged roof needs replacing. That's a fantastic example of a check-in, and we'll kind of walk through the components of what makes a good GeoJuice check-in description. And then what I have to the right of that check-in is just what that check-in looks like on the Google search results page. And I've highlighted two links. The first one at the top, and then the Hinkle Roofing GeoJuice link. And the two things I want to point out here is you'll notice that there are visual elements associated with each of these links. Most people know that at the top of the Google search results page appears links to paid ads. So, it's a paid placement. But what the team at Hinkle Roofing has done through GeoJuice is created a visually powerful link, two places below that paid ad placement. So Google is very careful and very specific about what is on that search results page. If somebody's going to pay for a paid placement at the top of the page, Google's going to go ahead and put that visual ad, that AD, that yellow icon next to it, to make it a little more eye-catching. But Google's also going to reward somebody who's got a healthy digital footprint, meaning not only is that GeoJuice-based content creating that hyper-local content, but GeoJuice also complements it with reviews. So that star rating is based on reviews that have been generated by GeoJuice. And on this page from the Hinkle Roofing website, you'll see the heat map like we saw on the Nuts Construction website. And then what we've got here in this particular layout of GeoJuice, we've got the reviews right next to the GeoJuice check-ins, which are on the right side. And it was funny, so I was meeting with Bob Baker of Hinkle Roofing the other day, and we were going through our agenda, and GeoJuice was on the agenda. And Bob brought it up to me that he'd had a meeting earlier in the day with his team and noticed that it had been 20+ days since they'd received a review. So one thing he pointed out to his team, and he's got 5+ people on his team using GeoJuice and doing GeoJuice check-ins. He pushed that reminder to them in his meeting, and by the time Bob and I met that day, I pointed out to him, Bob, you got a review today. So it's that example, and I'll get into it about how easy it is to use and put in the hands of your team to go get a review and get it published on your website, which, again, is also fed to your social sites. So let me talk about the scalability. I emphasize how easy it is. This is something that I think business owners really need to understand about the advantages of GeoJuice, and it's the scalability of it as a tool. So yes, one person at a business can have it and use it to great effect. But as my examples with Nuss Construction, with Hinkle Roofing, it's not one person, but it's multiple people. And the more hands they can get it into, have GeoJuice in the hands of more of their team, the better. And so both of them are great examples of GeoJuice power users. And when you talk about GeoJuice, we do we set up the teams with training. We walk everybody through it, make sure they're comfortable with it, but also practice. So for example, we say, when you're creating a GeoJuice check-in, you're simply answering the question, what problem did I solve? And when you're looking at it from that standpoint, answering that question creates a very rich description with your targeted keywords. And so these are just some general guidelines, right? So a GeoJuice check-in is basically 10 to 25 words. And you can do things like include brand names associated with the project or service that you're conducting. And then you're just simply describing what you're doing, the problem that you solve. So replacing a roof or roof replacement. And then in the training we'll get into some best practices, things to avoid, like you don't want to use shorthand or abbreviations or anything like that. You want to be explicit based on how people would be searching for a problem that they're looking to have solved, and a vendor or service they're looking to have them solve that problem. And I won't go through all of these, but these are just some examples of how you could craft a GeoJuice check-in. And again, it's in that formula of what's the problem, what did you do to solve it, and that's essentially the training that you need to do for your team. So from a simple tool standpoint to how am I going to get a group of my team members using it and using it effectively, it's pretty straightforward. So I'm going to pause here for a moment and see if any questions have come in, and check in with Jen.
Jeff, that was truly very helpful. It's really cool to see how clients like Bob Baker are taking advantage of this tool. I learned a lot today, and I'm so happy we've got such an active audience and you're sending so many great questions over. We're going to address those in just a minute. Before we do that, we've got a great offer for everyone today. To learn how you can improve your current digital strategy, we're offering a free one-on-one analysis with a web consultant who can take a look at your complete online presence and analyze its effectiveness. And this includes a tour of our app GeoJuice, so you'll get an inside look at it. If you'd like a website analysis or a copy of the presentation, just fill out the poll. It's going up right now. Okay, perfect. Please cast your votes. Along with this offer, all attendees who sign up for GeoJuice this month are getting a discount, which goes up to 2 months free of GeoJuice, depending on which package you get. It's really great. We can send you more details if you're interested in getting the GeoJuice offer. It's a great time to sign on with all of the beautiful flowers and weather we're having now. We'll be declaring a winner for the Chromecast after Q&A, but before we do that, we're gonna review some of the questions you guys had. So the first question I have is from Evelyn, and she asks, what about client privacy? Are there locations hyper-local enough to show exact locations when you're posting a customer's location?
Yeah, so GeoJuice is definitely sensitive to that question, and the way it handles that is it doesn't specify the address of the project, but rather just says near. So it'll say near, street name, town, state. So that's how it balances that privacy question, which is a good one.
Great. That makes things simple. Elizabeth asks, is there a base rate for it per month? Not sure if is this a good question for you, Jeff, or should we?
Definitely, we'll leave that one for Lauren. She's got more info on that than I do.
Okay, we'll be following up with you, Elizabeth. Another question we got from Noor. Do you have to check in from the mobile app, or can you manage these check-ins from a desktop or your office?
Yep, great question, and I kind of skipped over that important feature of GeoJuice. So it's as I went through, it's easy to use in the field from your phone. However, I've got some clients where they centralize it. They centralize it back at the office. They've got somebody that's the GeoJuice kind of point person, and they're essentially being fed the photographs from the field, so the projects, the before and after, and then that individual from their computer is then uploading the information. And yes, from a computer, you've also got the ability to upload that photo, include that description, put in that geographic information associated with the project. And that also is an important distinction because what if you were out in the field and just didn't have the chance? Now you're back at the office, you forgot, you wanted to get that check-in in that town where you were at. When you do it from the desktop, that's how you can overcome that, because you can force that geographic location, and it's not based on where you're physically with your desktop. It's based on the geographic information that you input.
Great. All right, one more question we've got from David. He asks, is a homeowner's permission required when posting a picture of their home?
So I mean, I certainly would ask them, but you've got a better feel on that than I do, as you've got the relationship with the customer, and so check with them on that. And we know that for our customers, they're very active in showing off their work, and no issues with their customers, also being very happy with the work that's been done and looking to help show it off as well.
Great. Do we have any last questions for anyone in the audience before I announce the grand winner? Oh, okay, one more from Noor. Can postings be backdated?
So no, it's a go forward type of activity, and so there's no backdating.
All right, perfect. Okay, so the moment everyone's been waiting for, our grand prize winner. And I've lost her name. Tiffany Wiley, you are the winner of Chromecast Audio.
Way to go, Tiffany.
Way to go, Tiffany. We will be following up with you to send you your new Chromecast Audio. Congratulations. All right, Jeff. All right, everybody. That was truly helpful. If we didn't get to your questions, we'll be following up with you. We appreciate all of your questions for being such an engaged audience. It was awesome behind the scenes here. We will be having more webinars exclusively for home improvement contractors. The next one being June 23rd at 4 p.m. So if you're interested, it's a home advisor guru who's going to be talking about how data shows what you can learn about customers from their behavior on Home Advisor. If you have questions, send them over to info@surefiresocial.com. Thanks for joining us today. Have a great rest of the afternoon.
Thank you, everyone. Have a great day.
Thanks, Jeff.